Hey guys, it is Tuesday, July 22nd, 11:50. I just wanted to do an update about my grandfather, and tomorrow will be when I do my shot, which will make it 13 weeks on T. So I'm just going to do kind of a combination video. Um, First and foremost, thank you so much for everyone who sent me messages and left comments about my family video with regards to my grandfather and the well-wishing and so forth. Really, really appreciate it. It still amazes me how much support is out there with the YouTube community for people and from people that, I don't even know and they don't know me, and it's a pretty amazing thing. And when I kind of step back from it and look at that, I don't know, it can be pretty overwhelming in a really positive way. So thank you very much. As far as my grandfather, his surgery was on Monday, yesterday. He went in needing, he had 5 major blockages. They were able to repair 2 of the blockages. It was 1 bypass, so he had a 4 bypass surgery that repaired 5 blockages. The doctor said his heart was great. He was in great shape, young heart, all that kind of stuff. Heart disease runs in my family, so his heart issues weren't about necessarily only lifestyle choices or diet or all that kind of stuff. His cholesterol is very low. It's actually more of a hereditary issue, which really makes me think about that, because I know that testosterone can have a negative impact on my heart, my coronary arteries and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, so that's what's going on with him. He's doing really well. He's going to be in ICCU, intensive critical care unit, at least until tomorrow, and then he'll be moved into critical care unit until Saturday. I did not go up, and the reason why I did not go up after many conversations with my parents, is on Saturday night I received an email from my brother. And my brother and I are not close at all. We have no relationship for a variety of reasons. I don't know if I've mentioned him at all in my previous videos, but I have not had any sort of a positive relationship with my brother since I was a very small child. He's 3.5 years older than I am. But he sent me an email, and I'm going to read you the email, and then I'll kind of go from there. So the email says, "Do not come to Grandpa's surgery," and then he put my birth name, my female name, in there. "This is not a coming out party for you. We are all concerned about Grandpa and don't have time for the dramatics that you bring to everyone else's life. Mom has enough to worry about without you adding your bullshit. Quit shoving your fucking lifestyle down everyone's throat and stay the fuck away." So when I got this, I was pretty upset by it. Stay the fuck away. I was pretty direct, and I know my brother is not the voice of my entire family. In fact, probably the exact opposite. But because he brought my mom into it, I called my mom and checked in with her, and her and my father both emphatically stated that is not their opinion, their position, or their words or anything like that. And they were very disappointed and sad by my brother's decision to send me this email. But after much consideration and thoughtful conversation with my mom, I decided to not go because I didn't think that my brother would have the maturity to not create a scene or a conflict. And at the time in which my grandfather's in, having, open heart surgery, was not the time for any sort of real dramatics. And because I didn't think my brother would exercise any sort of restraint or respect for anybody, he's quite selfish, I chose to not go there. And in hindsight, I think it was the best decision. I wasn't necessarily worried about what I would say to him. I would say nothing. I would simply remove myself from the situation. But once something is said, and once that's out there, then it's out there, and it would have taken away from the support of my grandfather. So so that's the decision. It was a really hard decision. It was an emotional decision. I felt frustrated because I felt like by not going, he had gotten empowered, and he felt that he did the right thing or whatever. And but to go just to spite my brother was an absolutely wrong decision. So that's what I did, and you have decisions, and we all have choices to make, and we do the very best that we can, and I did the best with that situation. So I'm planning on going up probably on Thursday because my whole family will be gone, and it'll just be my mom and my grandmother, and seeing my grandfather, because while he's in ICCU, he can only have visitors every 2 hours for 2 minutes. So it's a 4-hour trip up and a 4-hour trip back down for me. So it would be nice to be able to spend a little bit more time with him than 2 minutes. So as far as testosterone, I don't know that I've noticed huge changes. I feel like I'm getting fatter. My face, I've noticed, is puffier or rounder or whatever, and I'm not particularly fond of it. But it is what it is. So more hair growth for sure, on my face and my stomach and legs and different stuff. So I am going in today to get my blood work done to check out what my levels are. I feel like my levels might be low because I'm pretty lethargic and I don't have a lot of energy and all these things that are often symptomatic of low testosterone levels. So hopefully I can get that looked at and adjusted if necessary. So some positive things that have happened, because this is kind of a downer update, is the other day the house phone rang, and the house phone, pretty much the only people that call the house phone are like Susie's parents or some of her friends and different stuff. I hate house phone. I use my cell phone for everything, but I was home, and so I answered it, and it was a telemarketer, and I said hello, and he said, "Is Mr. Kennedy there?" And which, that's my last name, and I kind of stumbled for a second, because in my whole life Mr. Kennedy has been my father, and I said, "This is he," and he said, "Sir, blah 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 blah," and I was totally like trying to sell something, and normally I would just hang up, but I was so jazzed that for the first time ever, I was identified as male on the telephone. So I totally engaged in this conversation with him and pretended to be interested in whatever product he was selling, and because I just wanted to keep hearing Mr. Kennedy and he and sir and all these different things, and then it got to the point where I was supposed to make a payment, and I said, "Oh, I changed my mind, never mind," and I hung up the phone. But it was pretty cool. It was definitely a monumental moment for me, to be called he or sir and Mr. on the telephone. So that was kind of cool. And then last night we went out to dinner to this Mexican restaurant that we always go to, and I always get called amiga, always. And I don't say anything. It's just like whatever. And this waitress that we have had for, she works all the time, so we have her all the time. She said amigo last night, and that was really, really cool. The food was terrible, go figure, because it's normally really good, but I didn't really care because I was pretty stoked about being called amigo instead of amiga. So that's kind of it. I think my chest is doing really well. I posted that very short video of my dog and I sleeping. I wasn't sleeping, my dog was sleeping, and the video was taken with our digital camera, not this camera that I normally take videos with. That's why we had a conversation about the sound, because Susie didn't know if the video or the digital camera recorded sound. So, yep. My online class, I figured out that I only have to get 228 points to meet the minimum requirement for the social work program. So it's 228 points, and I have 147 points right now, and I have 2 more 100-point exams to take and a couple of more posts. So despite totally being a fuck and not doing what I needed to do, and I haven't learned a single thing, not a single thing. So despite all of that, I think I'm going to be able to pull it out. I really had an epiphany the other day that I was wondering if I was self-sabotaging myself. Self-sabotaging myself? A little redundant. But I really had to kind of examine that, and I don't know. Maybe I was or I am. About if I don't pass that class, then I won't graduate with my class, and I'll be a year behind. But I would be with a whole new group of people that never knew me as anything other than Aiden and he, and so I really had to examine, was I being motivated by the idea of having a fresh or clean or new start. So that was an interesting sort of a thought process for me, and being aware of the barriers, my own sort of stuff that I'm putting out there and getting in the way of things. So what else? What else? What else?